Hey guys, welcome back to QT with Erin Jai. This segment is pretty much for people to rebuild, and I'm utilizing some resources and people that I've met along my path to rebuild and during the season of isolation. So I have some really good guests lined up for you guys. I have a really great guest on my show today. I've been following her on Instagram for a while. Um, Today's guest is a licensed esthetician. She has 16 years of experience. She's an herbalist and womb and wellness practitioner. And she's also known as the Yanni Lady, mom, goddess, and queen of self-care. And she's the owner of Her Secret Garden Vsteam Spa. So you guys please welcome Darlene Johnson. Let me bring her up. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's good. Some days are great. Some days are like, oh, I need to get out the house.
Yes, it is. I was just telling someone the other day, this is history. Like
Right.
we're like in history. Like tell your grandkids about this history.
Right.
Like I
This is
remember
like
this.
crazy. This is crazy. I'm just like, can I get a margarita, salsa, and chips? Like, that's all I want to do.
That sounds so good and refreshing.
Sit on the, patio and just enjoy the weather. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all. Mm-hmm.
That it's the simple things now, right? Just the
Mm-hmm.
simple things. So
Yes.
it's a journey for sure. I started journaling about how I felt and what's going on, and so I can read back on it like, whoa, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just to keep a record of it,
Yes. Yes.
So you're a herbalist and a womb wellness practitioner. Can
Mm-hmm.
you tell us what is that? That's so interesting. I was fascinated by that.
So herbalist is I study herbs and using herbs, I use herbs to heal in different ways, different issues, different illnesses. And it's kind of a gray area because, in this country we use modern medicine and, Western medicine. And so herbalists really don't, you can't say that you can heal anything basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I study plants basically and the benefits that plants give us and the ways that they can help our body and improve our health.
Okay,
And
all right.
yeah. And then womb wellness is, I do vaginal steaming and I incorporate herbs with the vaginal steaming. And so just womb wellness practitioner is just, it's kind of a word that I kind of put on myself,
Mm-hmm.
but it's to heal our wombs as women and the different ways that we can heal as women and heal our wombs because we hold a lot of trauma and stress in our womb and just different ways that we can heal. So vaginal steaming, herbs, different prayers, meditation, womb massage, acupuncture. There's so many different ways that we could be utilizing to heal our womb and different issues that we deal with as women in our womb.
What kind of stress, other than childbearing, does the womb like experience? I
Uh,
never had
well,
any kids, so I'm interested.
well, well, the womb, that's where our stress is. It's like as women, when we get stressed out, it actually will go down to the womb. It goes down to the stomach and the womb, the digestive and the reproductive area, and we kind of hold it there. Rejection, different types of rejection, trauma, rape, a miscarriage, you losing your virginity too soon and not really understanding, what it was that you were doing, being sexually molested. I mean, there's so much that we deal with that we don't talk about. Even something as simple as like getting yeast infections or bacterial infections, and as women we don't talk about it. We go to the doctor in silence, where we have our heads down, we're embarrassed, we're ashamed, we don't know what's going on. The doctor gives us a medication and that works for a little while, and then here the problem presents itself again. And so there's just so much trauma and stress in our wombs, just daily life.
Yeah.
It gives us that. And childbirth, yeah, it's a stress, but I mean, we're creators, so our bodies are actually made to create. Now, whether you have a child or not, that doesn't mean anything. As women, we're made to create. We are creators. And so a lot of that is in your womb, because we have chakras. I don't know if you know about chakras, but your sacral chakra, has a lot to do with creation. And so that's where we hold a lot of our stress, is in our womb.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. It was one thing I had to ask you about yeast infections.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do they come from? Like, I know that's a crazy
Um,
question, but it's just interesting how, and
you
bacterial
know,
vaginosis, I think that's.
hmm a lot of our infections nowadays, and I'm 42 years old, so I remember maybe my first yeast infection was in my 20s. And I think a lot of the infections and the diseases that we deal with nowadays have a lot to do with the food and the process and the chemicals that are in the food. And so younger girls are experiencing yeast infections a lot earlier, and then we are experiencing them more frequently because every single thing that we eat has sugar in it. Every single thing that we eat is processed. The meat is given antibiotics. And so you use antibiotics to treat bacterial infections. And so now we're eating antibiotics in our meat. So when we go to treat the bacterial infection with the antibiotics aren't working anymore because our bodies build a resistance to antibiotics. That's why they always tell you, you take the whole bottle. You can't just stop once you start feeling better. You want to take the whole bottle so your body doesn't build that resistance against it. So a lot of infections nowadays come from artificial fragrance, chemicals, antibiotics, hormones, food, poor hygiene, different things like that.
Oh, wow, that is so interesting. I didn't even trace it like back to all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really interesting. So, are you plant based yourself, or
I am about 80% plant-based. I will break down and have a little bit of turkey or chicken, and I eat salmon. I'll eat
Mhm.
fish. I'll eat fish. I don't eat like catfish or shellfish or any of those, but I'll eat like fish. Salmon, trout, cod, halibut. That sort of
Mhm.
thing. And not a lot, but I try to be plant-based more. And
Okay.
like I said, I'm about 80% plant-based.
All right. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fascinated with the lifestyle. I want to do it. And I went raw, and I tell everybody, so I went raw like it was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year, around this time, and the bloating went away.
Mm-hmm.
My menstrual cramps were not bad, and I have
Yeah.
really bad ones. And it was just, everything was just different. My eczema stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and the challenge for me was, working, doing this right here, and it's just like not knowing, I had to sit down and plan. If I know I'm gonna grocery shop on Sunday, Friday I had to plan, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna get, this is what I want to cook.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't know, and with this kind of rush society, you kind of just be like, well, I'll get something to eat out tonight, and then
Yeah.
it's really a lifestyle. But
Yeah.
I definitely would love to get there, to
Yeah,
get
you
there.
definitely have to plan. Like you have to plan your meals or you'll go, and eat something that you have no business eating. But I'll send you I know a chef and she does plant-based she'll do like vegetarian, so she still does some dairy and stuff like that. Or she can do vegan for you, or she can do keto or pescatarian or whatever, but I'll send you her information.
Okay,
And
okay, cool.
very reasonable too. And she'll do
Um,
like 5 to 10 meals a week. She'll deliver them to you, everything. And it's basically what, to me, it's what I was spending going to the store anyways on groceries.
okay, yeah.
you know in my mind I had all these recipes I was gonna make, and then when I get home I'm too tired to make them, and so I eat cereal.
That's me. Yes, like,
Yeah.
I'll start tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll give
Um,
you her information.
Thank you.
Hmm.
What sparked your interest in this field?
Just being a woman, like I've always, okay, so I'm an esthetician, right? And so I've always loved all my clients, and I see male clients as well, but predominantly my clientele is women because women take care of their skin. They get facials. They're more, they worry about their appearance more, and so women have just always been like my heartbeat. And I just love to see us smile. I love to see us overcome. And I actually got a Vsteam for the first time in 2016 or 2017, and I was going through a divorce. And it was a really, really, really dark time in my life, and I was wanting to rid myself of him, his emotionally and spiritually and that sort of thing. And so I started to do a little bit of research, and I don't even know how it came up, but vaginal steaming came up, when I did like a Google search on how to, detach emotionally. And I went to get a Vsteam. There was a lady in Dallas that did them, and I went and got one. And it was such a wonderful experience. And afterwards, I cried. And I kind of felt like that was the emotional release that I needed. And I also felt like this is something that I need to share with other women, because at that time, there were not a lot of people that did it. It wasn't a lot of press. And even now, it's just not accepted, or, a lot of people kind of look down at it, or they don't believe in it or anything like that. But for me, it was all about the emotional component. And then when I started to research on it and learn more about it, and then I saw that there were all these other physical, components to them, and all this other healing that will happen physically just from, using herbs and steam. And it's totally changed my life, as far as how I feel about myself as a woman, my divine feminine energy, how I love on myself. I just feel like that transformation started, after I had the V-Steam. And so it was just something that I had to do.
Oh wow, that's very enlightening, and I'm glad that you're sharing that, because I can't wait till when this airs for other women to see that, and to understand that it's more, it's about us, like a spiritual journey. Because when we and my friends talk about it, they're like, it's probably, they say it tightens you. So they're probably like misinformation, and like, oh, you do this, and they're like, oh, and it cleanses you out. So, but it was that part is more important than
the other. And you get all those benefits too. So don't get me wrong, you get all of those benefits too. But then there's a spiritual and emotional part of it too that I love to speak on and love to teach on as well. Perfect.
I love it. So when did you say, you know what, it's time to open this up? I'm going to pursue this as a business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. When did that spark happen?
That was probably like early 2018. And it was me and my friend Whitney, and Whitney is the growth guru. And I was talking to her after I got the V-Steam, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. And I just want to, and she's just, listening to me, because I always have, all these wild ideas. And we started just researching it together, and we just was like, you know what, let's do it. Because, she's all about natural hair and just, beautifying women from the inside out and things like that. And so we just came together and we came up with Her Secret Garden, and we just were like, let's just do it.
Good. I love it. I love it. So what other services do you offer outside of the V-Steam?
So I have full skincare services. So facials, microdermabrasion, chemical peels. We also do vajacials, which are facials for your vagina. And that's a wonderful service you can do with the V-Steam. So you can go get wax or sugared, and then you come in and get your vajacial and your V-Steam. And the vajacial is great because it helps with like ingrown hair, discoloration, that sort of thing, exfoliation. It helps to get that skin all nice and soft, and feeling all good down there. And then you go and get your V-Steam, and you're feeling great. And then we do some sugaring. I don't do Brazilians right now. It's something that I want to bring on, but we have sugaring, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we talked about why V-Steaming is important. The extra question that I had to ask you about, what do you feel about like the feminine washes? Like, one moment, we're told out here, like, okay, they're good for you. They help you with pH balance. And then it's another one that says they strip you of your natural, y'all don't joke on me for this, natural bacteria. I'm not sure, but can you explain what I'm The rumor.
Yeah. Well, so I also have a feminine care line. It's all natural and plant based, and so we have a feminine wash. We have called Clean Cookie. We have our Fresh Cookie, which is our Yoni Mist. It's a pH balancing spray. We have our Happy Yoni, which is a Yoni oil, and we have our Sweet Cookie, which is our Yoni bar. It's the soap, but it's just in a bar form. And then we have some other facial stuff. I have detox teas, sensual bath soak, and then also I'm working on my own steaming herbs. But so this is the thing about feminine care products. When you go to the store and you go buy, we won't say the name, feminine care products off of the shelf, if you look on the ingredients, there's a whole bunch of ingredients that we cannot pronounce, right? So there's all these chemicals, there's sulfates, there's parabens, there's all these things in them. And so, yeah, they are going to strip you of your natural oils, bacteria, different things like that. Okay. But when you choose to use a plant-based cleanser, even if it's body cleanser, you are benefiting your body more because you are getting the health benefits from the plants that you're using, the essential oils that you're using. There's not a false fragrance. There's not perfumes or parabens or sulfate. It's all natural ingredients. And so it actually helps. A lot of herbs are antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. So they help to get the pH in line. And then also they help fight off infections just using plants. And it's just, it's kind of the same concept of us eating plants. When you eat more plants, and like you said, when you're a raw base, you just feel so much better. And so we need to be moving into a space where we're using more all natural products, whether it's your skincare, whether it's your body washes, your toothpaste, your deodorants, because our skin is the largest organ on our body. So when you put things on your skin, then it's going directly to your bloodstream and then it's affecting your body. So there's different chemicals that we use in everyday products that, disrupt our hormones. They, compromise our immune system. That's what we're dealing with right now with, the COVID-19, the people that have compromised immune systems. Well, where does that come from? That comes from chemicals, that comes from antibiotics, that comes from the way that we eat, that comes from, the environment that we're in. And we have to go back to a more plant-based environment and not so manufactured. Everything is manufactured and processed. And so in order for us to get the quick fix, you have to add all these additives that are not necessary for us. And so we need to go back to more natural products and just a natural way of life.
I love it.
But, feminine care is really important. We do need to, the vagina is self-cleansing. It is. There's no doubt about that. But the outside of the vagina is not. And it's, even hair, if you don't wax or shave, hair has an odor. Hair can carry bacteria. And as a woman, you want to make sure that you're cleansing yourself in a way that is going to, help heal and get rid of any bacteria or odors or anything like that.
Okay. I do, and I have your website up here too. We're going to go through some of the products and your Instagram page as well. How often does someone need to do a Vsteam? Like, what do you recommend?
Well, if you're just doing it as to help, like you said, you have really, really bad cramps. So for you, I would suggest once a month and maybe a week or two before your cycle, because actually V-steaming helps so much with menstrual PMS, with PMS symptoms, bloating, cramps, any irregular bleeding, breast tenderness, all those things that we get before our period that we're supposed to just deal with, we actually don't have to deal with. Ever since I started V-steaming, I don't have cramps anymore. I mean, I have cramps maybe about 20 minutes before I start my cycle, and they're not horrible. They're just like, oh, okay, I'm about to start. But then I don't deal with, cramps throughout. And I think my cycle is about 4 days. So I'm bleeding for about 3 days, not heavy. And then on the 4th day, it's just light. My periods are bright red the whole time. There's no black, there's no brown, there's no clots, none of that, So, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're talking about the periods and the color. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, just making sure, that we are taking care of our bodies in a way that we don't have to deal with pain. Like we should not be dealing with pain. We don't have to deal with pain when it comes to our cycle, but that takes some healing. That takes getting rid of some old, it's called stagnation, old blood. Because we use, like tampons and stuff like that. And so we're not allowing our bodies to like freely bleed. And so that old blood, that's why our bodies are cramping so much, because it can tell that there's old residue in there, but it can't get the old residue out. And so our bodies naturally are going to cramp to get it out. It's going to push it out.
Yeah. I had fibroids some years ago, and I got them removed. And she was saying when we looked at the ultrasound, she was like, well, one of the reasons why it's cramping so bad, it thinks that this tumor needs to come out. And it's like it was pressing. My body was trying to get rid of it, but it was there, and it was just unbearable. Like I never had a child before, but I felt like I was about to give birth. It was unbearable. And after I got it, they were better to the point where I could work, I could drive and do things like that, but they still hurt. And when I did go plant-based, the same thing, the same experience. I barely had any cramps. It was lighter. And I was like, man. And now I don't eat meat the week before I know there's about to come on, because for whatever reason I cramp worse when I have meat in my diet.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's a connection there with all that stuff. So this is really good information. How long has this practice been around?
Oh gosh, since the beginning of time. I always like to I've been trying to research and find it in my Bible. Well, I have a Bible, but then I have an Apocrypha, and then there's other, the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's different ways for us to research, but like Queen Esther. Now, you remember the story of Queen Esther and how she was talking about how she had to prepare herself for the king, right? In my mind, she did a Vsteam. Like that's how far it goes back, but they are able to trace it back that far, in our country, of course, it's just now becoming popular, but in Africa, they steam after they have babies to tighten and postpartum. So that's what it's been used a lot around the world, is in postpartum use. So after a woman has a baby, she sits over this pot of steaming herbs. Some women sit over herbs. Some women just sit over a pot of steam, and it will bring everything back where it's supposed to be and tighten everything back up.
Okay.
And so that's what it's been used for around most of the world. In Asian cultures, they generally use V-steaming for after a woman has her cycle to continue to make sure that she cleanses and detoxes her body. So after her cycle, she'll do a V-steam. And then that is to help further detox and cleanse her body of, toxins and old blood and different things like that. And that's why there's a lot of V-steaming has been here for a really long time. If you go to like Spa Castle or King Spa, they've always offered it. But we didn't know what it was on the menu, but they've always offered it.
Back to the tampons. What do you what do you think about those? Like as a womb, I want to make sure I say a womb wellness practitioner. What do you think about tampons?
They're convenient because nobody wants to feel blood gushing out of them. And that may be TMI, but that's the truth, but we're supposed to free bleed. And that allows our body to work in the way that it's supposed to work. When you insert a tampon, yes, it absorbs the blood, but it doesn't absorb all of the blood. And then that, to me, is maybe some of the blood that's getting stuck up there because it's not able to freely come out. It dries up and, it's in there, or it doesn't have the room to move around and to come out. And so I don't use tampons anymore. I mean, of course, I use tampons from the time I was a teenager to the time that I realized that I shouldn't be using tampons anymore. Right. But even, and I never tell anybody what to do. I give them the information and they can utilize the information how they want. For me, I use pads and I use menstrual cups. If I'm going like somewhere and I don't want to, have a pad on, or I have to wear like a thong or different things like that, then I'll put my menstrual cup in, and it works just as well as a tampon, and it allows me to freely bleed. But what I always tell people is if you're going to use tampons, if you're going to use pads, just make sure they're organic, because there is toxins and pesticides in the regular tampons and pads, because cotton is a field that is it's a genetically modified grown crop, because we use cotton for everything, right? So they have to mass produce and mass grow cotton just to keep up with us, you know, Americans. And so they spray it with a pesticide. They spray it with, you know, different chemicals that make it grow faster and, you know, keep the bugs and, you know, the infestations and stuff like that out of it so that they can grow it fast. And then they also bleach it white, because cotton is not actually white, you know, it's yellow. And so we're now inserting that into our vagina.
Okay, all right. I'll definitely keep that. I stopped wearing tampons; they hurt. So I just wear pads. But I'll start doing the organic pads. I don't feel confident about the cups. Like I don't feel like I can wear it right. But I'll definitely, yeah. I think I tried. I forgot the organic ones I tried before. But you know how they had a free sample, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all. So okay, that's really interesting. Now we're going to go and look at your Instagram page.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a screen share.
Okay.
All right, and you can tell us. All right, you guys. So we're on her page. Can you see it, Darlene? All right. So here we go. Here it goes again with her VStream benefits, you guys. It helps with vaginal health, fertility issues, menstrual health, menstrual irregularities, cramping, vaginal odor, intestinal health. Oh, look, hemorrhoids, recurring yeast and BV infections. So that is pretty good. Let's see what else. I saw that so here's, you guys, this is what, let's see, is this a facial right here? Let me see if it plays.
Yeah, it's a post
Her
facial.
skin looks good. So what was services that she had?
What kind of facial did she get?
It's pretty.
I think she had dermaplaning.
Okay.
Or microdermabrasion, yeah.
And here's a detox blend. So this is what is this? I've seen these around.
So that's a herbal tea blend, and it's a loose leaf tea. I have 3 blends that I make: detoxing, fertility, and then a hormone balancing blend. And so it's just a loose leaf tea you can drink, you know, throughout the day, or, you know, if you want to detox, you can drink your detox tea to help to get rid of the toxins in the body and just kind of balance your intestines and give you some good nutrients and bacteria.
Do you put this in here and boil water?
Yeah. Okay. There's a little, you know, those little tea strainer thingies. You just put the tea blend in that strainer and put hot water over it.
Okay. All right. You guys, I believe these are these your products right here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go to her website so we can get a real close view of that, of the things. Can you, what's dermaplating? And is it microdermabrasion? You guys, I'm chopping that up. Can you tell me the difference between them?
So dermaplaning is removing the very fine vellus hairs and dead skin using a blade. And it's just kind of this blade that kind of really just basically scrapes just the right surface of your skin, and it gets rid of any dead skin, like I said, and any vellus hair that you may have. And then microdermabrasion is using a machine that has aluminum oxide crystals, and it's gently rubbing it against your skin and getting rid of dead skin and replenishing elastin and collagen in your skin.
Is this, which one do you, is this one?
I think she had dermaplaning.
Okay. It looks good.
Yeah.
So we're on your website right now, and here is a balanced yoni blend, you guys. Look at that. That looks edible.
So I can't see the website. I think you're still on the Instagram on here.
Okay.
It's not showing the website.
All right, let me hit stop sharing this tab, and let's go to, do you see the website now?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me hit, oh, I see myself. Let me hit share screen again.
Okay.
Chrome. Balance. Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So here is the Balance Yoni blend, you guys. Look at this. It's so pretty.
Uh-huh.
So, and this is something that you could have at home, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, we're gonna go. We have yoni eggs. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so yoni eggs are they help you with Kegels. So they help to tighten, firm, and then also they help you to build that vaginal muscle. So they're
Uh-huh.
great, if you've had a child, or you feel like you need to do a little bit of tightening down there. Yoni eggs are great. They also help to increase your orgasm. So they're basically, because you can control your muscle. You're learning how to control your own vaginal muscles by holding the yoni egg in, because you have to hold it in there. It's not going to just stay in there on its own because of gravity, obviously, but you're holding it in. So what you're doing is you're training your vaginal muscles, and so that helps to increase orgasm. And then with the yoni eggs, they come in different crystals. And so just depending on what you're going through, if you want healing or prosperity or,
Mm-hmm.
unconditional love or protection, it just depends on what you're looking for in your crystal. Then you choose the type of crystal that you want your yoni egg in. And then you do a little bit of meditation with your yoni egg in.
I love it. And you guys, here's our feminine oil blend. How do you apply this?
This is like my very favorite product.
Mm-hmm.
Yoni oil. It's the product that you thought that you didn't need, that, once you try it, you will never go without.
Okay.
But the Yoni blend is Happy Yoni. It's a healing, moisturizing, soothing, sensual Yoni oil. And it's great for the women who shave or who wax, or who do sugaring bikinis or Brazilian. It's great for your skin down there. It's going to help to heal the skin. It's going to help with hyperpigmentation. It's going to help with ingrown hairs. It has lemongrass is the essential oil that we use, and lemongrass and citrus is very antiseptic, antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. So it also helps to fight off any bacteria or anything like that. Even if you don't shave down there, it still feels great. It's great for your lady part. You're not actually putting the oil inside the vagina.
Okay.
I mean, you totally could. They're all natural oils. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing unnatural in there, or nothing chemicals or anything like that in there. So if you wanted to put it inside, you totally could put it inside. It's not going to hurt you, but it's more for the skin outside to heal and nourish, and to kind of it's definitely sensual as well. I know. One of the things that I get, text messages or emails from clients that purchase the yoni oil, is that their husbands or their significant other loves it.
Okay. So. Y'all heard that.
Yeah.
And we got some herbal. The clean cookie yoni wash, cookie. You guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and do you use this daily or?
Oh yeah. You keep that in the shower, and you just use that every day. I just put some in my hands, and then front and back, girl.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I love it. And then here is the soap bar.
Yes.
So you guys, you see her website, and you guys go check that out. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Let's see. I have to. All right, so we're back. Yes. So just about 3 more questions. Mm-hmm. So the reason why I wanted to do this show is to have, put some positivity out in the air and things of that sort. I'm one of those type of people, like, I kind of like let other things bother me. If something like how people, when they said 6 million people lost their jobs, I almost cried, and I'm pretty sure other people were sad about it too, but it gets me to a point where I get depressed, and it doesn't even, it affects me, but it doesn't even affect me directly. And I don't know why I deal with stuff like that, and go about things like that. But when I came up with QT Time with Erin Jai, I was like, you know what, I want to put some positivity in the air and at least do my part if I can. So as a business owner, what advice can you share with others during this time of isolation? Like, just some positive information.
I think we need to learn how to go within and turn off the TV. stop scrolling on Facebook and Instagram, because it's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of fear. And then, so you have the fear, you know, and you have all these people that are losing their jobs and all these businesses that are filing for bankruptcy. And I'm not immune to that, because, you know, I am a business owner and I'm a service-based business owner that I cannot work right now, you know. But I just believe that God has such an amazing plan, and for a time, you know, like this, like you said, this will be written about in the history books, right? So there's a change that's happening, and there's something that's so wonderful and amazing that's happening. And so I think we need to learn how to pivot. I think some of us are so stuck in our minds, and things are like this, you know, we're only going to do it this way. We're only going to see it like this. And we need to be more open and just kind of allow God to do whatever he is doing, and stop trying to be in control of everything all of the time. And that's kind of where I'm at. You know, I've been meditating. I think I've taken like 4 or 5 baths. I mean, I haven't even taken that many baths last year. You know, it's just, and it may be me being selfish, and I hope it's not me being selfish, but I know I needed the time, because I've been moving, trying to build a business, trying to sell products, trying to do this, trying to do that. I don't even have time to work on the stuff that I need to work on in the back, or even myself, you know?
Right.
And so this time has allowed me to really go within. You know, what do you want, Darlene? What are you called to do? What is your purpose on this earth? How can you change? How can you utilize the gifts that God has given you to speak life into someone else and to encourage someone else? And that's why we're here. You know, if you take away all the materialistic things and the money and the cars, and, you know, I think a lot of us were kind of engulfed in that life, in that lifestyle, you know, especially when you're on social media and stuff like that. There's like this certain lifestyle. It has to look a certain way. You got to be a boss chick, a boss this, a boss that, you know. And it's really about looking within and seeing what gifts God has given you specifically, personally, and how can you use your gifts to bless someone else and to bless someone else's life. And just taking this time to kind of just, you know, watch the birds and feel the wind and chill out. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. The bills will get paid, you know, we'll go back to life. But, you know, just take this time and really, really, really realize the gift that we have with life and every day.
All right. That's good advice. Very good advice. Back to rebuilding during the season of isolation. I guess you pretty much covered that. I was going to say, what opportunities what is it that you noticed, you learned about yourself spending time with Darlene? Like, I know people have kids and things of that sort, but I definitely just feel, even though it's just me and my dog, I just learned some things about myself during this time, just not being around my family, not being around my friends. And it's just like, okay, this is, you know, it is peaceful. It is quiet. I haven't had the TV on all day, you know, and I was just getting ready for this interview, and I ate breakfast in silence, and it was peaceful, and I wasn't overwhelmed. I didn't have any anxiety, even in traffic. So what have you learned, just like about you, and just like, you're like, wow, okay, this is, you know.
I like me. I don't mind time with myself. And I'm like you, my daughter's a teenager, so she's 17, she's grown, you know. So she's, you know, out and about doing whatever she do, and she doesn't really worry about mom anymore, you know. Like, I don't have that responsibility of, you know, teaching her and making sure she eats and doing all these things. Like, you know, she's like, my daughter's very mature for her age, and she's grown. And it's just me and my dog. And, you know, we go on longer walks. Like, I remember I used to be in such a rush in the morning. I would just walk in for like 5 minutes, you know. And we've been going on 30-minute walks and just watching the birds and this, and just, you know, not a care in the world. And I enjoy myself, and I enjoy my time alone. And, you know, I have a wonderful and amazing man in my life. We don't live together. And so, you know, we're not really able to see each other right now. But even with that, I think, you know, you get married and you become what other people want you to be. You become
Mm-hmm.
a mom, you become a wife, and you forget about Darlene.
Yeah.
And I'm just enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the time with myself. I'm enjoying my thoughts. I'm enjoying my meditation time. I'm enjoying cooking and eating good foods. And just like you said, I'll go a day or two without turning the TV on, girl. Like, it's totally fine for me. I do not need to have that TV on. But then, I'll go a day and just binge watch, Real Housewives or Love and Hip Hop, some Ratchet TV too.
Yeah.
So it's just about having balance and doing whatever the heck you want to do.
All right. I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. Well, that wraps up this interview. So I'm just gonna say before I let everybody go, make sure, let me show this. Make sure you guys check out Darlene and her business. It's on IG. It's at Her Secret Garden Vsteam on IG, and on Facebook it's Her Secret Vsteam Spa. And her website is www.hersecretgardenvsteam.com. Get
Yes.
y'all some products. And I mean, I was so excited. I have to go get a V-Steam now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You know how you just pass by the building and you just look like, okay, that seems cool, and you want to do it with a friend. I'm good with doing it by myself.
Yes.
At this point, so try something new, y'all, and get that spiritual cleansing and that wealth
Yes.
and that health and get it all in order. I absolutely love it. We have to do this again. And
Yes.
yes. And thank you so much for taking this interview. I appreciate you taking time out your day to speak with me on Easter.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. So, well, all right, you guys, that's the end of the show. This interview will post sometime this month. And so I know what date it is, but I'm not gonna say it because by the time it airs, it'll be weird. So so thank you guys for tuning in with QT with Erin Jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin.
Thanks.